Because you can actually tinker with all this stuff, it gives you an enormous power to customise it to your own taste.
What someone else put in might benefit thousands and thousands of other people. And by having that collaboration and having, you know, people get their say and other people contribute to the codes, you can get more valuable software. You're not just getting what one person wants with software.
For leaders in an online world, the critical thing is not to feel threatened. I think it is about letting go. It's a tricky thing being a kind of a leader of a herd of cats.
If 30,000 people came over and said, you should do this, who feels a bit harsh to him, but he says he supports it and he thinks it's a great idea.
You hope that it's going to be helpful and not go the other way, and you know, I'm sure everyone's working for it to make a good partnership and run as smoothly as possible.
I think with team selection, ultimately it will come down to the forums.
But you've got to be very brave, haven't you, to accept the decisions.
You're going into something that's not got any real, you know, history or evidence to back anything up. So you're stepping into a little bit of the unknown, and you know, we might have to make mistakes to go forward because it's so new.
Meg Whitman, who used to run eBay, said it was like leading a town meeting. It basically means that when you're leading anything, it becomes a political job, because what you're dealing with is not people you can instruct and tell. You have to persuade and win their support.
It's a real art, and it's a different kind of art than what we think of as management in the classic sense.
The people who make the transition best from being, you know, what I would call manager to leader are the people who are comfortable with letting go.
It would be really interesting to get Gordon Brown and ask him whether he'd be prepared for his job to be changed in the way that Liam Daish's job has been changed. Would he be happy, really, to have that level of participation? They talk about evidence-based policies, and they talk about being the servants and not the masters, but would he really like to have people driving his decisions in that sort of way?
Well, I'm not sure about that. This is a football club. I'm not talking about, you know, the world or the country and all that, the nation. I don't know if that would work. You know, it could get a little bit of anarchy. But no, this is new. It's interesting, and we're giving it a good crack.
Ultimately, I assume, I don't know him obviously, but I assume that the real proof is in the pudding, right? If he wins more games, he's going to be happy to be in the situation he's in than if he loses a lot of games. And so it's the kind of record that you know, will play out over time. We'll see how that football team does.
So did you pick the team this morning? I did 4-4-2. He kept it nice and simple.
I always picked George Purcell anyway. Did you pick Chris McPhee to play right back?
Yes.
So did I.
Well, free kick-off. This is possibly the biggest game in Ebbsfleet United's history. So much riding on it. A trip to Wembley beckons. Well, Ebbsfleet lining up. Barrett collects, and he's gone over the top to Chucky. Chucky will get to this. A cross put in. John Akindi looking for it, but not quite getting to it.
More and more people, either because they grew up in that world or because they've learned about this world, take it for granted that they can get involved, that they can interact. Take it for granted that there is significant wisdom and value in interacting with other people in groups that don't have all the kind of classic infrastructure, but are nevertheless tremendously important and engaging.
Referee blows his whistle. Tim, we got to be happy.
Still got that 3-1 aggregate lead. We've looked like we might create chances in this half. We've weathered the storm. That they...
So you reckon any subs?
For us, no, it's no need to say.
I consider Chucky coming off 20 minutes, then we could get on the computer and tell Liam to bring on the sub.
Well, these players, these Ebbsfleet players, are 45 minutes from their destiny. Chris McPhee clears.
If Ebbsfleet turn into a real success, then that's evidence that a participative decision-making process can lead to good results.
That's a real vital point for the game so far. Half an hour to glory for Ebbsfleet United. Aldershot really looking dangerous again. A little dink through. He is through. And it's a goal to all the shots out. The linesman didn't give offside.
At the end of the day, communities don't work unless decisions get taken.
Ebbsfleet United there were playing.
And so the communes in the 1960s and 70s in America, thousands of communes failed, largely because they couldn't take decisions.
You can imagine a team of surgeons being preferable, and a team of trained surgeons being preferable to 35,000 people trying to move the knife.
He's able to pick his spot, and that's Aldershot 1-0 up.
It's not a recipe that's going to work in every single situation.
Well, that's ramped the nerves up a significant amount. Tension really is a factor now. Not too sure how Liam does reassuring and comforting, but he'll certainly be geeing up his men for these last 8 minutes plus added time to go, unless we see, of course, extra time, which would be the case if Aldershot managed to score. Paul McCarthy has this covered though, plays the ball back to Lars Cronin, who was forced to clear.
Nail-biting moments these for Ebbsfleet.
I think the problem is the team, and we're all so close to Wembley, to have it snatched away now would just be horrible.
Keep the ball! He was there with the ball a minute ago. Come on, get on with it!
And then George Purcell's on top of it. He's in the corner. He plays it inside. Can it finish in style? He's Stacey Long. And it's in the net! I don't know who scored, but I don't care. It's in the net, and the Fleet are going to Wembley. 1-1, and the Fleet on aggregate lead 4-1. The Fleet are going to Wembley.
It's the massive advantage of just opening yourself up.
What a roll!
We are taking a team to Wembley. Well, it hasn't sunk in yet. Someone said to me back in August, you're going to be picking a team that plays out Wembley. I've not believed it. So amazing.
The desire to collaborate with other people and get that sense of what I'm doing is useful and meaningful has always been there, but basically the barriers to entry have gone down rapidly over the last 10 years. And so now you're starting to see it really become the mainstream.
I picked most of that team, and we are going to Wembley. And you feel that's been achieved in part on your selection.
The proponents of participative government could say, here is evidence that you know, the wisdom of the crowds is right, and that listening to everybody is a good idea, and that instead of doing phony consultations, you should probably do real consultations about issues that people really care about.
The major change is that, you know, institutions are now threatened in terms of their power relations by groups of individuals who can actually organise to change things.
Across the spectrum, from banking, education, health, through to entertainment and culture, you'll see a gradual move over the next 2 decades towards much more open models of organisation. And that's a very, very powerful recipe.
Throughout the 20th century, we created wealth through the vertically integrated corporation. It did everything from soup to nuts. Why does the firm exist? If markets are the best mechanism for determining how goods and resources are allocated, why isn't everybody an independent contractor at every step along the way in production? The answer is collaboration costs. Because the web drops collaboration costs, consumers can now produce.
You can be a bank manager. You basically have got control over what you're doing, who you're lending money to, and what interest rate you want to set.
I don't think we have a sort of conventional customer-supplier relationship. So it started with us saying to our users, we've been approached by a film company making a documentary. I'll have the press release below. They're looking to interview a lender and hear all about their personal experience at Zopa. Adrian, or Adelos as we know him, responded, said, Amanda has said no, as our house is a mess at the moment. I just pinged off an email asking if filming could be in another location, we'll let you know. So he then says, I've spoken to film company this evening, made my demands for red and green M&Ms only. That was the first thing I asked for, and for tea to be made with milk from the male yak. We're different, and we've captured the imagination, and consumers like us. And banks would love it if their consumers liked them.
I've been in business now for about 8 years, and the bank always make you feel guilty, firstly, about borrowing. And then all the pomp and ceremony that has to go with it, with regards to the paperwork and, you know, declaring your soul, really. These are people that have lent me the money. They've all lent me in denominations of 10s, 20s, 30s, £40. Weird that I know how old they are. And then Mr. Lender, who's 70, he's putting £20 of his pension. It's bizarre where they live. But I guess that's the whole point of it, isn't it? It's to, you know, to bring you closer to your community and to the people that are helping you.